for our invocation.
Fellow Rotarians, our guest speaker today has a background in art. Visual art is a fundamental component of the human experience, reflecting the world and the time in which we live. Art can help us understand our history, our culture, our lives, and the experience of others in a manner that cannot be achieved through other means. It can also be a source of inspiration, reflection, and joy. Please bow your heads. God, help us to see the world through your eyes. Allow us to be inspiration and joy to those around us. Bless the work that Sekoya does, and bless the food that we eat and those that prepare it. God bless you, Rotarians. In God's name, we pray.
Amen. Thank you, Cindy, so much. Now, we'd like to welcome our guests, and it's so exciting to have David Hall with us here live and in person. We have the real thing today.
So we have one visiting Rotarian. We have Randy Riniger in the back there from the Green Club. So, no, Port Summit, I'm sorry. You talking about green on the way in, you had me all fooled. And then we also have our speaker, Sekoya, and we'll get introduced to her a little bit later by Jerry. So that is it.
Great, thanks, dude. And it's good to have Randy here. We worked on the district conference, seems like forever. And the last 4 days started Thursday. We were all together up at the Cleveland East Marriott. So thanks, Randy, for all your help. You were a great teammate. So, well, with that being said, I think because of having, again, two wonderful Rotarians that we're welcoming back into Rotary, no one will have any problems. I'm going to dispense with happy dollars. So we'll pick up Mela.
Can I introduce Kelly?
Oh, absolutely. I was going to call on you under my announcements, but yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. So I think many of you met her when she came in. So Kelly Kleitz is new to Akron Rotary Camp. She's our administrative assistant. So she's going to be joining us on Tuesdays. So handling registration.
Welcome. It's good to have you.
Thank you.
So we're a great group of people, and we're very nice. So it's good to have you with us. So real quickly, David Hall, how was the food bank last week?
It was good. We, again, did something different, so we had these huge bins of potatoes. I'm not sure, Cindy, did they say how heavy those or how big those were? No.
Gaylords.
Gaylords.
Gaylords of potatoes.
So we had big bins of potatoes that we pulled out, we plucked the eyes off of, and then we rebagged into smaller bags so we could redistribute to other families. So it was a very good time.
Good. When is our next one? Will it be in June?
June, yes, the fourth week in June.
Great.
Wednesday.
Thank you. And Bella, back to you just real quick. How did the cleanup at camp go?
The cleanup went really well. We got all the cabins cleaned, so thank you to any Rotarians who came out. We had some other people who joined us from the community as well as some camper parents. So camp's coming fast and furious. So
Ready or not?
ready or not, here we come.
Good. And a special thank you, even though that Terry's online. I don't know if you can hear me, Terry, but he's wiping his hands, so I guess he can hear us. The scholarship dinner last Tuesday night was great, and applause to Terry for a job well done. Thanks, Terry. So we had amazing kids, and the people that introduced each one of our scholarship recipients did a phenomenal job. So thanks to everybody that was able to make it last Tuesday night. As I mentioned, our district conference was this last weekend, and it was 4 great days of excitement. And the best part, I think, was being with fellow Rotarians. If you wouldn't mind, if you were there over the weekend, whether it was Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, would you just stand up for a minute so we can see all the Rotarians that were there and participated, please, just for a moment? So it was great. Thank you so much. Good job. Again, a quick announcement. August 12th is annual Dragons on the Lake Festival. Brian Casarco is our team captain, so please see him if you're interested in getting those arms working. I'm doing the wrong way, Susan, help me out. I'm doing the wrong way. So it's a fun day in August, so please talk to Brian. Again, on Saturday night, we inducted our outgoing young student from Hoban High School, Michaela Demetrius Morris Evans. It was sort of like an 11th hour joining of getting him, and he's going to France. So he got his blue blazer Saturday night, and I got to pin him and tell him congratulations. So Michaela will be coming to visit our club, but he'll be our outbound student for next year, 23-24, going to France. So it's an exciting time for him and his family. So any other quick announcements? No? Okay. Well, we have 2 fabulous former Rotarians that we're inducting into our club. So at this time, I would like to invite Abraham and his sponsor Stu and John and his sponsor Tom up for our official ceremony of welcoming back into Rotary. Tom, I'll give this to you to hold. This pin is on the back.
Okay.
And you can put it back. Okay?
Thank you.
And Stu, I'll give this to you. And he may have taken the pin off the back because there was a pin on the back. So you've got that, I think, somewhere. Hopefully.
There's another one. You get one?
Yeah.
He's got it. Okay, thanks, Mella. So you can pin that back on. So, okay. All right, gentlemen, this is exciting. Exciting times. All right. So as we all know, Rotary International is a humanitarian service organization that brings together business and professional leaders in order to provide community service, promote integrity, and advance goodwill, peace, and outstanding in our world. It's a non-political, non-religious organization, and membership, as you gentlemen both know, is by invitation. There are 46,000 member clubs around the world with a membership of 1.4 million individuals in over 200 countries known as fellow Rotarians. When you join Rotary, you become a part of a worldwide fraternity. You can travel throughout most of the world, as I know that you do, Abraham, and find a Rotary club within easy distance. Rotarians will always welcome you warmly, even though the language may be different, the food unusual, and the location is far from home. The object of Rotary is to encourage and foster the idea of service as a basis of worthy enterprise, and in particular to encourage and foster people. And the first is the development of acquaintance as an opportunity to serve. Second is high ethical standards in business and profession. and the recognition of worthiness of a useful occupation and the dignity by each Rotarian of your occupation as an opportunity to serve our society. The third is the application of the idea of service by every Rotarian to fulfill your personal business and community life. The fourth is advancement of international understanding, goodwill, and peace through a world of fellowship of business and professional person, united in service. And as you know, we judge ourselves by the Rotary four-way test of the things that you think, say, and do. First, as you know, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned? So with the four-way test being completed, you have a lot, and you know a lot already about Rotary. So it's not just another club, it's a way of life. But you are welcome back into the family of Rotary, and we're excited that you chose Akron to be your family club. We ask you to, when possible, to attend our weekly meetings and always remember Rotary's motto, service above self. So congratulations, John. Congratulations, Abraham. And at this very moment in time, you are the newest Rotarians in the whole world. So congratulations. So Tom, if you'll do the honors of giving John his pins, and Stu, repin Abraham. We're going to ask both of you to say a few personal words about yourself after the photo, please.
This way. Hold on, gentlemen. Right here. One more. Bear with us. Thank you.
Very good. John and Abraham, if you both just take the podium and say a few words about who you are, what your former club was, and again, it's wonderful to have you. Welcome.
I'm Abraham. I'm from Green Club. I travel a lot, so I was not able to attend morning meetings. I work on tires, kind of competition to Goodyear. We are a small company, work with run flat tire for Hummer vehicles. So we do a lot of testing on. Also, I export testing machines to India, made in Akron. And I don't know whether you know, Akron is still very famous for machines, even though we don't make tires here. Anyway, my family, Minnie is a dietitian in Western Reserve. My son works in Detroit. He's doing fellowship. He's a student still. My daughter is in Case Western doing fellowship also in infectious disease. That's what, and we have a small church in Macedonia, Orthodox church, very small church. We started maybe 5 years ago. Thank you very much for selecting me here, because I feel always bad that I'm not able to go to the meeting in the morning. Thank you very much.
Hi, everybody. My name is John Burkick. I've lived here in Akron now 3 years this month. I used to work with Olivia. I was her boss for a while at the Boy Scouts. I left the Boy Scouts in 2021 and worked for Joanne Stores for a couple of years, and I'm now with Volunteers of America. So I work from home. My office is in DC. I work for the national office in corporate sponsorships for events throughout the year. I'm a Northeast Ohio native and have lived in the Cleveland area, the Youngstown area, and the Akron area. So that is me. Thank you. Very happy to be here.
Future.
Oh, I'm a teacher.
Teacher voice.
I'm a college teacher, and I teach kids that we're used to at 8 o'clock in the morning, so yes, I'm loud. Nice to be back, glad to see everybody. I'm really honored to present Sekoya Kendricks. She is owner of 1474 Art Incorporated Gallery and Elite Lounge, the youngest African-American art curator in the state of Ohio. She is a licensed life coach, specialized in behavior, communication, and relationships. She is an art teacher at Emmanuel Christian Academy, and she also gallery teaches at the Akron Art Museum. So, Sekoya, welcome.
I don't know why I waited to get up like that wasn't me. Thank you guys so much for having me. This means a lot. I was actually doing some research on the Rotary Club, and it's very interesting. As long as I've been in Akron, Ohio, I've always heard about it, never knew exactly what it was, and now I get to be here. So that is very, very awesome. So just like Ms. Jerry said, my name is Sekoya Kendricks. I was born in Boston, Massachusetts, but grew up here. So I'm the only one in my family without an accent. So I spent a lot of my life here, went to Central, went to Akron U. I was the last class before Central closed down. So when I was coming here, I was like, oh, memories, yay. Yeah, so I started my art journey just in, I started off in fashion. I started off just trying to figure out different ways I can kind of make money when it came to art. So I would always stop my process. I would always start doing something, then stop, and then start and stop. And I was like, you know what, well, this is my actual passion. So right after I graduated, I had really amazing jobs. I worked at the Akron Urban League for years. I worked at some different corporate companies. And I just kept finding my way back into the art world. So in 2018, I left my job and I was like, well, you know what? We got to figure this out because you just walked out of here, so now you have to make some money. So during that process, I kind of just focused in on what it is that makes me happy. So I talked to a lot of younger women and a lot of children just on how to make your passion beneficial. So during the process of starting my business, it's called 1474 Art Inc. 1474, those numbers are very important to me. So in 2014 is when I came up with the idea. Didn't pull through until 2018. And then 74 is my brother's birthday. I had a brother, his name is Stephen Warren. He died in a car accident. So during the time that he was with me, he was very creative. He always told me, just be yourself, always ask any questions, do whatever makes you feel good. So I always had that memory in my head. So I was like, you know, what can I do to kind of represent something that he would be proud of, something that makes me happy, something I would like to wake up in the morning and go to and just be able to say, I'm proud to be here. So everybody thought I was crazy, and I might be. It took a minute. So during that process, that's when I came up with 1474 Art Inc. During my time of resources and networking in Akron, Ohio, I began to understand that there was a lack of resources here for a lot of artists. A lot of artists will go to school to be an artist. There's a lot of things that isn't being taught. There's a lot of resources that people don't know about. There's a lot of different things that you can actually do to make money as an artist. And that was like my number one goal. I was like, you know, I just walked out of here, so now I got to prove to people I know what I'm doing. So I began to network and I began to reach out. I got on a few boards. So I opened my actual gallery space. We're in 2023. I opened my gallery space in 2021, going into 2022. Recently just closed. I closed in December. I closed my gallery space in December, but I have the same thing online. I realized that online was making me way more income than having the actual overhead. The overhead was a lot of great experience. I got a lot of connections. This is how I got one of these connections as well. So the actual space was to give local artists exposure, to help them actually sell their work. So within 1474, I manage visual artists. So I help them with pricing, I help them with resources, I help them with their sales, their pricing, and different things like that. A lot of marketing. I also do social media content for artists to get their self out there. Again, I don't know if you guys know artists or if you are in artists, a lot of times we just want to work and we don't want to do anything else. Let's just give me my paintbrush and let me have my way. So I realized that the sales pitch person in me was like, and sales and marketing is my background. I was like, well, I can sell that. I think I can sell water to a whale. So I was like, I should be able to sell art, right? Took a whole year of getting a lot of no's and falling on my face. But I decided to come up with a certain way that people would understand and kind of find certain artists, their target market, and what was work best for them, which is why I'm here. So a lot of people kind of noticed what I was doing throughout the community. A lot of artists started talking. A lot of other people started kind of getting my name and getting my organization out there. I started working with Nicole Mullet with Arts Now. I'm on one of her strategical planning boards. So we help with make decisions based on like grants and giving other artists opportunities. Before that, someone at the Akron Art Museum reached out to me and they were like, hey, well, you know, you closed your gallery, but here's a space here. So it was just like doors opening left to right and I'll kick down every door. So I work also, I'm a gallery teacher at the Akron Art Museum. I've been there for about a year and a half now. And what I do is basically host guided tours, show people around. We specialize in being educated in the different exhibitions that take place there. We work with a lot of children. We partner with the Akron Public Schools on different intelligent programs to kind of walk them through art, get them hands-on, and teach them the education behind the art. That is another thing that my business stands for, is just art awareness and art education, how it helps with mental health, how it helps with behavioral health. And with that is also how I took on the life coaching process, because I'm like, this is kind of a thing. I think I'm coming up with something here. So I started just connecting different dots and building my artist career based on everything that I would like to do and being beneficial there. I'm also a teacher at Emmanuel Christian Academy. I'm teaching students basically the same thing, kind of hands-on, just different art experiences, taking them around Akron, taking them around our community, letting them know the artists that are actually from here and being able to see what's happening and what's taking place here in our own community within the art world. I think that is about it. That I can talk about myself. I can talk about me for days. That's how I came about doing everything that I do. I am just a big advocate for being creative and helping artists and helping any type of creative just kind of find their way and their resources throughout the community. And again, I couldn't be happier to be here talking to you guys. Thank you so much.
Questions?
And talk to us more about your life coaching and maybe give us an example.
Yeah, so my life coaching picked up on working with artists. I always look at working with artists like working with myself. If someone was to work with myself, a little fun fact, I have a 17-year-old daughter who is a spitting image of me. If you have daughters, you know. So I'm like, I look at her and I'm like, so must be what everybody else goes through when they deal with me, right? So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get into this. But a lot of times working with artists, I realized that when you're like, even if you're writing a book, you have like a moment where you have like a creative block. I wanted to figure out how to get out of that creative block, how to stay inspired, and how to connect with different things that would keep you motivated in the process. And it kind of dwindled down to all being like your own mental, the things that would keep track or things that would stop you. And it became a certain thing that we do. We create habits that make us mentally kind of give up or stop or get discouraged and things of that nature. So working with artists made me want to be more involved with keeping track and understanding different behavioral attitudes and personalities and different things that I could be able to pinpoint, well, hey, this might be why you're having that creative block, or this may be what you need to do to be able to help you keep inspired, or go try this, let's get outside, let's get into nature, different things. I learned that it was kind of like would help me be better as a life coach and help me be better managing my different artists. So that's how that came about. Yes.
So I'm guessing you're an artist yourself. What kind of art do you create?
So I'm a little bit of everything. So I do mixed mediums. I paint, I sculpt. I was just telling Jerry, I got into this little weird thing where I purchased a lot of mannequins that you would see like at the stores, like Dick's and stuff like that, and I'll just paint them crazy. And then it was really just a thing for me, and then they sold, and I was like, I might be onto something. So I kind of do whatever. Like, and then if I don't know how to do something, I learn, or I ask my artist a lot, and I'm like, well, how do you do that? I'm still working on my drawing. I'm not that best with the sketches, but I feel like I'll get there. Some kind of everything.
Sekoya, where did you get your educational background in art?
University of Akron.
University of Akron.
Yes, ma'am.
So I think Mr. Knauer, did you not get your art background there also?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I went to Akron as well, so hello, what I said.
That's right.
Every year.
That is cool.
A beautiful museum over there that we visited, so.
Yes, and they keep getting better and better with the art that they're adding in there. We had a little competition with Kent for a while, but they're getting good. I always try to reach out to them, and they'll send me different artists that are working or need some help or advice. I spoke at Akron U a couple times as well.
So what are your goals? What, 5 years from now, what do you think you might be doing or hope to do?
5 years from now, I want to curate in different countries. I want to kind of put shows together, like in France. I want to be able to be like, okay, this is good. I'm over here and I'm done. And now I can travel the world and kind of just meet up with other curators around the world and see how things are done in different places. I love to travel. That's what keeps me inspired. I'm out of here almost every other month. So my thing is traveling the world and definitely spending that time with my children too, when it comes to art, just seeing what else is out there.
Can you talk very briefly about the curatorial process, about what it goes into your decision-making of this is what this show is going to look like, or this is what this exhibit is going to be?
Absolutely. That goes back to me saying that I might be a little crazy because it's just a eye that I guess I've had. I didn't even know I had it until someone else told me I did, and I was like, duly noted. So it's just about when you with my background being in art history, some of the things that I learned within the actual educational piece, and then seeing things for itself. I really don't know how to explain how I do it, but the process is just mainly knowing what goes where, color mediums, the style of art. Does it tell a story? Does it not? What makes sense? And then I always think that in my world that I was brought up in, I was the only creative. So they were like, you want to go to the museum? And I'm like, you guys don't? And they're like, nah. so I was like, I didn't have as much inspiration around me, but I always walk into a museum or before I curate a show and I say, well, if I don't like art, what would my eyes tell me? Instead of coming into the position thinking like in my artsy vision, and because someone may have no clue what this is or what they even like. So I kind of try to look at it as if I'm not myself. And how would someone else come? What can I do to draw somebody else's attention who has no experience whatsoever? And then other times when you curate a show, the artist has a way that they want you to do it. So sometimes my job is easy peasy, just where you want this to go, great. Then otherwise, you tell a story, and I try to always keep in mind, if you have no understanding or experience in the art world, what would I like to see? So that's my key point.
I was gonna say, where can we actually see your art? I think you said it was just online. You have a website?
I sure do. I can give you guys my website. I also have business cards I can pass out. Everything is 1474 Art Inc. So that's my website, that's my everything. So easy peasy to get to, and I guess you can Google me too. That sounds a little cheesy, but I'm easy to find. You can come see me at the Akron Art Museum anytime you want. On the website, you'll actually see like different artists that I have on there, some of their work. I just started curating different shows in Cleveland too for a gallery called Deep Roots. So they have different local shows, and it's all for the same thing. They just kind of represent local artists, whatever, in the area. Yes.
Do you steer artists? Like, so if they come and say, this is what I did, and you make a face, or
give them some feedback, like, oh, that's awful? I mean, do you help them adjust?
Yes, absolutely. And my fellow peers tell me I'm great with that. So, and it kind of helps with working with kids when they bring you a stick figure and you're like, that's amazing. You're doing great, buddy. Keep drawing. You know, you don't say that's a horrible stick figure. It's never going to go anywhere. And I think I learned this lesson better off when I had the gallery, because people just assumed, you know, how do I get my art in the gallery? Let's just bring it to our front door. And so that time, that literally, that's what I dealt with. People just, I got all of this. What should I do with it? And you're like, ah. So when something does not attract my eye, I give it a shot if it is done correctly, properly to the art value. If it's just you have no technique but at all, then it's kind of like, how about I give you the resources so you can fix your lining, or maybe you got to do better with framing. So here goes some information so you can do that. Or maybe you should take some more classes on mixing your media or painting like that. I don't say it like that, but I always provide the resources to keep working. And then and then this is how you get to this point. So yeah, so I've definitely been in that position where something is just like, and then people think, do you just put anything in your gallery? And I'm like, absolutely not. If I don't like it when I walk in, I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure somebody else isn't, but keep working. So yeah, I've been faced with that a lot of times. And then even when they're amazing, it's just like, so it's just different ways you go about it, because there's no right or wrong way when it comes to art. And I tell my children working with that, like, that just because it isn't perfect doesn't mean it isn't correct or accurate. Someone made like that. So yeah. Yes.
Do you have any stories or any comments, I guess, on some of the most unusual art you've ever seen? What would it be, things that you made with, or?
Yeah, so one time, I did an art show at my space, and the artist was very open sexually. So it was like, and she had this idea, and I was so blown away that I accepted it. I didn't agree with it, but I just was like, this could be different, just out there. And so normally, sometimes I would let my assistant kind of host the shows, and I wouldn't be there. Sometimes I would show up, I walked into something crazy. It was a lot going on. It was very open and vulgar. It was art though. But the next day, guys, I had a friend of mine had a fashion show, and he wanted to have like his opening at my gallery, and that artwork was still up. And this was a Christian family coming in for the for the fashion show the next day. Boy, let's just say that I had to put myself to work, rolled my sleeves up, and took everything down and had it ready in 20 minutes. But I was like, there is no way in heck that I can have this work being there. But it was wonderful work. It was one of those where this isn't for everybody, and we got to make sure it makes sense for the particular target market and the crowd that's coming in. So yeah, that's interesting. And then at the Akron Art Museum, if anybody's ever been, there's always something different. And then working with kids and walking past exquisite things, and yeah, so you got to learn how to use your words and explain things artistically without scaring them off from certain things as well.
All right, Malcolm has a question.
Yes.
Excuse me. So you mentioned about your work with Emmanuel Christian Academy. Of course, that's an environment where there are children of color.
Yes.
And probably some that come out of impoverished type backgrounds and so forth. So how do you reach them, and how do you work with them as opposed to some of the other environments where you, for example, the art museum would be quite different?
Absolutely. I'm glad that you asked that question, because working at Emmanuel Christian Academy, and I just literally just said this, would happen to be one of my biggest things to kind of adjust to and overcome, actually. And when I accepted the position, I didn't think about that. Working with the kids coming from different backgrounds and poverty, and not really having the educational piece when it comes to art. So it's kind of like you're starting from scratch. It's like teaching a baby what this is, and then actually walking through the process of being an artist. A lot of them didn't even know they were artists. And you're like, you just drew Mona Lisa, are you kidding me? And they're like, throw the pencil down. I'm like, so it's a lot of, again, which is what inspired me to kind of do more of the mental base and the life coaching, because I wanted to be able to understand how to adjust and teach this to keep those kids focused on that path, and not so they think that it isn't a path that they can possibly take. So it's a lot of just, at Emmanuel, literally, I am the counselor, I am their mom, I am their aunt, I am everything that I could possibly be to each individual student while that moment is needed, because a lot of times they are emotionally detached from a lot of things, and a lot of things are taking place at home as well. So when they're coming in that day, this is gonna be art, and this is how we're gonna express what's going on, instead of using your actions and physical words and things like that. So it's definitely hasn't been a walk in the park, but I enjoy it, because when I leave, I feel like I've left an impact all the time. I hope I answered that well.
I mean, you work with, the younger kids?
I work with preschool to 8th grade.
Okay.
Yeah, so you never know what you're gonna get if we have any teachers here. It could be someone crying on the floor, falling out, and then we gotta put them back together, and we're gonna finger paint to a whole teenager with a straight up attitude, or just ready and willing to learn. So it's literally every day something different, and I got those grades every morning, so.
Like you combat pay?
Come on in and help me anytime, anytime. Everyone's invited. Any other questions?
This is tremendously inspiring.
Oh, thank you so much.
I know being an artist myself, when I saw about your work and your organization, I thought, yes, I need to bring it to Rotary. So thank you for coming.
No problem. Thank you so much for having me.
Card, and there's a coin in here which says inspire, which you have certainly inspired us all today.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you guys for having me. Yes, I'm gonna leave some business cards, but I can go back to work. Okay.
Oh, yes, please.
Well, leave your business card before you run away. Just a couple of announcements, now that we have just a couple minutes, and you heard the rain, it was like, oh my gosh. Just so you know, at the conference on Friday morning, and I wish more of us could have been in attendance, thank you so much. They have what they call a celebration of life, and it's well done, and they recognize our fellow Rotarians that passed away this last year. So of course, our wonderful John Daly was recognized, Patty Graves was recognized, and Al Nicely was recognized. And part of the ceremony is they have a slide of the person, how many years they were in Rotary, and we ring the bell in their honor, and a fellow Rotarian or a family member that's in attendance will carry a white carnation up to the front of the room and place it in a vase. So again, it's called the Celebration of Life, and it's always on Friday morning. So we did recognize 3 of our own this past Friday morning. And then on the bright side, at lunch on Friday, they have what they call honoring our 50 and 60-year Rotarians. And we were very fortunate to have Bill Manby Sr. there, and his wife, Sally. Bill Jr. brought him, and he was honored with a beautiful plaque for being a Rotarian for 50 years. Roger Reed could not be there, and he was also mentioned as one of our 50-year members. And in addition, our 60-year member was our beloved Jack Herrick. So again, next year it'll be at the Sheridan in Cuyahoga Falls, and hopefully more of us can be in attendance, especially on that Friday when we recognize our our fellow Rotarians that unfortunately passed during the course of the year, and then honor our Rotarians that have been Rotarians for 50 and 60 years. So that was a very positive, uplifting event that happened on that Friday. Katie and Brian were at the leadership. Would you like to mention, both of you, maybe a couple interesting things that have you heard, discovered with DG David?
Well, just the overview of it is that we're going to be participating in a class once a month with about 13 other Rotarians from our district on leadership development, and we'll have homework and things to do on the Rotary International website. So we learned a lot about the website itself, and I've been familiar with it, but I did not even know that there was portions on there to do. And I think our first class is next Monday.
Yes.
So it's scratching the surface really right now, trying to build what the curriculum's going to look like. So but it's good to see where it goes.
We're pleased that both of you could be in it. Thank you for going. We look to hear more good things that you'll be learning, and you can share with all of us. So, and Tom, you were in the President-elect.
I was in the meetings that Julie Randall hosted, and she did a wonderful job. And there were more business type meetings, but they were very productive. And I was glad to be represent the club.
Good. To prepare you for next year.
Yes.
To help guide you along the way. And our own Dr. Rob was there, and of course, if you saw the program, or you may not have known, Children's Hospital was recognized at lunch on Saturday, and he was so pleased to hear the results of all the donations that all the clubs in 6630 donated to the Akron Children's Foundation. So it was a great event for Children's Hospital, and we were pleased to be part of the celebration and have one of our Akronites on the stage again. And then we had Saturday night, we had 4 awards that were given to community partners. And here we are again, Akron Rotary Camp was one of the recipients. So Akron was there, shining bright, and we have a lot to be proud of. So pat yourselves on the back, because Akron did a good job during the conference. So we had a lot to be proud of. John, I don't know if you would like to say anything. You were there, of course, and a big help.
I tried to stay out of the way, but.
You took a low profile. So John was there. Dr. Duck, how about you? Anything that, especially with the youth?
Youth exchange was there, and also the Interact and Rotaract groups were there. The other thing that I wanted to mention from the conference was that there were Peace Scholars there, and a lot of people in this club probably don't know very much about the Peace Scholar program, so maybe we should do something with that. And one of the things that I learned was how much Shelter Box has changed over the years. We've had presentations on Shelter Box years ago, and now it's a completely different project. So some of the Rotary projects maybe need to be reintroduced to the club, or vice versa.
That would give us more of the international flavor. Yeah. Stu, how about you?
I was with John, we were under the radar.
You were in the background.
Don't believe the thing you're telling.
Randy, you were one of my teammates. What was your perspective?
You know, what I really enjoyed of it was the youth on Saturday, and the speech contest, our district speech contest winners were absolutely fabulous. And to sit and listen to them again give the same speech, which actually was slightly different, which was not a surprise out of the first and second place winners. If you've never had a chance to come to the speech contest and be maybe a judge, or definitely have a student come, we would love to have you. Our club will be sponsoring it again next year. So at Springfield High School in Springfield Township.
Correct. First place was an Elizabeth Chen, a freshman. So poised, so articulate. She was incredible. She's from Berea Mid Park High School, sponsored by the Rotary Club of Berea, and she received a $1,200 scholarship. But Elizabeth, a freshman, it was like, wow, what is she going to be like in 3 years? She was incredible. And then the other winner, second place, was Kabram, and he was from Solon High School, and he was sponsored by the Rotary Club of Solon, and he received $900. His speech was the importance of attracting teachers of color, and backtracking, Elizabeth's topic was the impact of artificial intelligence. So they had 7 winners, ranging from $1,200 down to $200. So I have the list here if anybody would like to take a look at it. But incredible, what a tribute to our youth. It was a sensational opportunity to hear young people and standing in a group of unknown people and talking with no notes and no podium and sharing their great wisdom. So, any other announcements that anybody would like to share? So, again, John and Abraham, welcome. It's good to have you with us. And next week, to my board members, we have a board member meeting at 10:45 here, and we look forward to having you all back. And our guest speaker next week is Jen Kidd, and she's the executive director of Night Light Cinema. So, yeah, yeah.
We didn't do the raffle yet. My apologies, we ran out of raffle tickets. We'll have more next week. Linda, would you pull up?
You want me to pull?
Well, yeah, our speaker ran out.
Yeah, sure. We lost her. There you go.
All right, so get the tickets out. Again, for our 2 newest members, we do a daily raffle, or weekly raffle, I should say. Split it 3 ways. A third goes to the winner, a third goes to the club, and a third goes to a progressive pot, which I have cards here that the winner gets to pick from. Each card, or your numbered out, it's 229595. 595.
Oh, good, Doug. Okay. Congratulations, Doug.
Looking for the joker for the progressive pot. What do you got? Ace of clubs. You can keep that, and there's your prize.
Very good. If there's no other announcements, meeting is adjourned. Thank you. See you next week.